Welcome back everyone to Charlie's Kitchen, right here on Enhance Your Appetite with Charlie. This is the channel. Make sure you tune in for not only this video, but any other videos coming your way, okay? So today, what I thought would be a great idea, because well, first let me get my statement out. What I thought would be a great idea is to show you how to use your leftovers in a different way. If you're like me, you get bored with eating the same thing over and over again, right? So I have some leftovers that, you know, I want to share with you. So this right here is my leftover rice, okay? What do you normally do with your leftover rice, right? So that's something to think about, right? Then I also have over here, I'm getting ready to show you. My leftover, because last night I made tacos. We had tacos last night, turkey tacos. So I made some ground turkey. You know how you would make it with, you know, your taco seasoning and whatnot, and put my tomatoes in there, my onions and everything. So I have that left over, right? The night before is when I made the rice, and I made that with some meatballs. Not the meatballs you saw me make yesterday morning. Not those. I had made meatballs before that for my family, because those meatballs that I made yesterday was actually for my women's club meeting luncheon / luncheon. So that's what I made those for. But I had made some meatballs, I made some rice, and I also made, let's see, what else was it? Brussels sprouts, right? So I had that left over from the day before. So the rice, we finished all the meatballs. We still have a little of the Brussels sprouts, but, you know, so that was our leftover dinner, right? So you've seen that I had the taco meat that we had from last night. So we had leftovers of that. So these are going to be two separate meals that I'm going to show you today that you could do with your leftovers, okay? So if you have some minutes with me, this is not going to be a super quick video. And I've already made sure to make my pasta for one of my meals. I have some onions chopped up here. I have my green onions here to the side. I also have my eggs that I have already started scrambling. I added a little milk to them as well. And that's a good tip too, if you're trying to stretch your eggs, put a little milk in them. They also won't turn brown as well. So I have my onions, as you can see, chopped up. So I'm getting ready to add that to my frying pan. And for some reason I turned off the stove. So I'm turning that back on. Add my onions here. And so we're going to go ahead and make sure that we get these glazed up. So the onions are in the pan. So that's going to be our first step. So you guys probably can figure out thus far what I'm making with these two meals of, you know, my leftovers, because things are too expensive right now to be throwing out food, okay? So my pasta that you just seen was actually by Barilla. It's the elbow noodles. Elbow pasta. Sometimes we get so used to saying noodles. But elbow pasta by Barilla. That's what you saw in my strainer, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get these onions going. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share. It really does help the channel to grow here at Enhance Your Appetite with Charlie. So we're going to go ahead and just continue to let our onions cook because we want them soft enough, right? And then once I get them soft enough, I'm going to take them out of the pan and we're going to go into our next step, okay? I hope you guys have been having a wonderful hump day thus far. I just came from work myself not too long ago, and as a mom and a single mom at that, even though I have adult children, I've always tried to make it easy on myself because I've always worked, right? And I've worked multiple hours, between 16 to 18 hours a day. That was basically my schedule before I became an entrepreneur. And if you're like me, you're looking for quick meals that you can get the kids fed, get yourself fed, get in the shower, and just actually take a rest from your day, right? And so I could totally understand that. And, but we want to give our kids a filling meal. If you have kids like my kids were when they were younger, they didn't like fast food at all. You know, once in a while we would do baking and stuff like that. But as far as like fast food, they always wanted their mama to cook for them. And so, you know, that trend actually continues even to this day, even though they're adults. They're always like, Mama, what you gonna cook? And actually, I like it. I like the fact that my kids enjoy my cooking. I like the fact that they enjoy our time together after I cook, you know, that we could actually have conversations and whatnot. And honestly, that's what cooking is all about. It's about intertwining with your family over a very nice meal, a nice setting, a peaceful setting with your family. I know I've always enjoyed that with my kids, you know, when I can actually come home and actually have a meal with them. And I had to work a lot to take care of my kids, but, you know, even if I had to schedule that time out, I did it often. And it was times where I left between 5, sometimes, you know, I had to be to work. I had to leave from home about 4:30 to get to work for 5:30. And those times, I wasn't able to have breakfast with them and whatnot. But what I tend to do was, after that particular job, because I worked as a bus driver in Pasadena, then I would come home, right? Try to start a quick meal before I go to my second job. And I tried to have times where, even though I worked a lot of times on the weekends too, driving my bus, because I also worked for a church too, so I drove for them on the weekends. And even though I drove a lot, you know, doing all of that, I would sometimes take off on a Sunday so I could have that traditional Sunday dinner with my kids, because that's something they grew accustomed to. And I wanted to bring that back to them, you know. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, they didn't understand why I worked so much. But as a single mom, some of you are single moms out there, you understand what I'm talking about. And so you make sacrifices for your kids. So in 2015, that was when I made the choice to become an entrepreneur. And in doing that, I started my first business, and then I started another business, And then years later, I started my healthcare services business that I have now. And so at the time in 2015, I was working 3 jobs. So I resigned from the first one because I wanted to make my dreams come true. And I wanted to be at home more with my kids and intertwine with them. I didn't want them to see me always working and not having time and having to pencil them in for, talent shows that I wanted to go and see them and ask my employer, can I do this? Can I do that? I got real tired of that. And so that's why I went into, business for myself. And like I said, I let one job go at a time so I could be able to work it out, and basically went in all the way on a hope, a prayer, and faith in God. He had to get me through it completely. And it's worked out. And I haven't worked for another employer since 2015. That was the last year that I worked for somebody else. And I've been able to maintain and take care of my responsibilities and, get on YouTube with you guys and actually cook with you guys, which is one of my other passions as well. And so, that's how it happens sometimes, And I don't know why I told you guys all of this, but I really feel that someone is maybe struggling with that option for themselves to become an entrepreneur and wondering how they're going to do it. You're going to do it on a hope, a prayer, and faith in God. And He'll get you through it, okay? So don't worry about it. It's going to happen. Because if you continue how you're going, right? So now you guys, you see I took the onions out. Let me say that first. So they're sauteed how I want them. Now I'm getting ready to add my eggs to this, okay? And I've already added my little bit of milk to it. I would say probably those are 6 eggs, right? So I think I did maybe 1/3 of milk to the eggs. And I have my rice over here. So I'm gonna let this go ahead and cook the eggs. But what I was saying though is that, maybe you're a little scared, because if I'm being honest with you, to become an entrepreneur, I was scared too, but I felt like that was the best move for my family, because a lot of times in corporate settings, working for other companies and whatnot, they love you as a worker as long as you're showing up on time and doing what they want you to do. But let something happen where you get sick or what have you, they have no use for you a lot of times. And I'm not saying all employers are like that, but a lot of times that's what it is. Another thing with these eggs, I'm not going to season them with any salt or anything, because what I'm getting ready to make, and I guess I could tell you at this point, I'm going to make some egg fried rice. And if you don't know, with the egg fried rice, you have to use soy sauce. So that's going to season up everything, okay? So now I'm getting ready to put my rice in there. I've already added all my rice to it. We have the eggs in there, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and add our onions that we sauteed back to this mixture. And we just go ahead and mix that up. And at the same time, we're going to now use our soy sauce, okay? So this is the less sodium soy sauce. Market Pantry is from the one and only Tarjay. So we're going to go ahead and give it a dab. I also have my peas and carrots that I also get at Target. They're the organic Good and Gather peas and carrots. So I'm going to add some of that. As you can see, I've already added that to my rice here. So far so good, right? You're going to gain some muscle power from tossing up this rice and the eggs and the vegetables. And you want all those onions to just blend in here. And you don't want the rice to be white. You want it to be brown. And using your soy sauce to do that, okay? And then you just made an Asian meal. Seem like I can't talk. Just that quick in your own kitchen. And all you needed was some rice. And also, you could use like a shredded chicken for this as well. But all you needed was your rice, your peas, your carrots, right? You went ahead and we scrambled our eggs, right? And honestly, I might do some more eggs in here. I don't know. Or if this is my leftovers for tomorrow, I'll probably add chicken to spice that up, right? Now once you got it all stirred up, and it smells amazing, you guys. It smells absolutely amazing. But once you got it all stirred up, then it's time to go ahead and just give me a second. Let me just wipe around my stove. Okay, so once you finish with that, I'll give my hands a wash. Then you're ready to go ahead and chop up your green onions. And I'm using my shears. These are my babies. I'm using my shears to get this done. And I've already rinsed my green onions. So you can put them, you know, toss those green onions that you have right there. And I'm turning down my fire as well. So you can toss those green onions in your fried rice, your egg fried rice. And then you can chop some more up on top, like so. Okay, so for this leftover meal with your rice, right? What did you need again? You needed your peas and carrots, right? 2 onions, because I did 2 onions that I did the grilled onions. Those were 2 onions that we did, chopped up, 2 full onions, right? And the soy sauce. And that's pretty much it, okay? So now we're going to get into our next meal, okay? And we have our fried rice over here that's done. And now we can get into our next meal, okay? So we already had our pasta over here that was already drained. So we're gonna put our pasta in the pot. We're gonna go ahead and add some milk to that. And I'm just kind of eyeing it, but I guess that would be about a cup of milk. And I am lactose intolerant. And to that milk, we're going to use the Kraft Singles, okay? And so we're using the Kraft Singles, and we're using 8 Kraft Singles total. And that's going to give this mac and cheese a creamy texture, okay? So that's what I'm getting ready to do, is make a mac and cheese. And this is a stovetop mac and cheese. And you can make that in your home as well. I'm giving my hands a wash again. And then we'll finish up on the mac and cheese that we're making. And what was our leftover item for this meal? It was the taco meat. The turkey taco meat that we had last night for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. That cheese, and I also have shredded cheese here, but I normally just go ahead and start it off with the Kraft cheese. You can also use the Campbell's soup, the cheddar soup, in your mac and cheese too. I've done it before. And that was the Lori seasoning salt that I just added. And I'm just allowing my Kraft cheese to melt. And I have a little Colby Jack here before I open up my other shredded cheeses that I'm going to use first, okay? So, as you can see, a woman's job is never done. A mother's job is never done. A single mom's job is never done. So I had a little Colby mix, Colby and Jack mixed. It was just a little. So I used the Kraft Singles so far. Colby and Jack mix. This is mild cheddar, finely cut. So I'm going to use the rest of this as well. Oh, I still have some cheese in here. Y'all know cheese is expensive, so if you have any cheese in there, you want all of it to go in. So it's always something to do, right? Even being a business owner, it's always something to do. But we make it happen, and we make it look easy, even though at times it's not. So look at that mac and cheese. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. And we've been cooking this now, probably not even 5 minutes. And look at that. And this is homemade mac and cheese. It's not that box stuff. This is your own mac and cheese right on the stove, okay? Let me taste a little. That's actually perfect as far as the cheesiness. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some pepper on top. And actually the seasoning is on point. I thought I was gonna have to use some more cheese because I had my mozzarella left over and provolone blend, and I had another Colby Jack, but this right here is perfect. So I'm turning my fire down now, and I'm gonna add a little bit more milk to it. Okay, so look at that, you guys. Let me put it in the camera so you can really see. If you guys could only smell. If I only could give you smell of it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, and I didn't heat up that ground turkey meat that we made our tacos with last night. I didn't heat it up. And remember, that was for tacos, so I did a little taco seasoning in that. So now we're gonna go ahead and put that right in this pot. So we have that over here. Remember I showed you that earlier. So we're just gonna add it to this mac and cheese. That way we use everything that's our leftovers. We're not wasting a thing. And now we have some other meals for some other days, okay? And we're not eating the same thing because maybe I didn't want tacos tonight. Maybe you didn't want tacos tonight. Not what you had last night for dinner, right? And then look what you have here. Like basically your own hamburger helper with less sodium. And it's all what you made. Not just a box putting some ingredients together. Okay? So look at that. So there is our 2 meals. In less than 30 minutes, we made 2 meals that we could have for tonight for dinner. And maybe we want to save the hamburger helper since we had ground turkey last night, right? Maybe we don't want to eat that today. But guess what? Tomorrow, if you have some running around to do, or you have work, you know, you can possibly eat this hamburger helper, your homemade hamburger helper, basically, for the next day and have your fried rice for dinner tonight. Oh my goodness. That is so good. It just occurred to me. I didn't taste the egg fried rice, and I want the onion part. Look at that. I'm gonna bring it close so you guys can see. Let's take a bite of that. Oh my goodness. Super flavorful. So good. And right on point. Okay? So, I am so glad that you guys joined me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's longer than I've ever done before, but I wanted to show you the concept of leftovers because we all have them, right? And if you're like me again and you get bored with sometimes eating the same foods over and over again, it's other things that you could do to that meal to spice it up. So essentially, you're not wasting food, number one, but you're also eating something different, right? I mean, look at this big old pan of egg fried rice right there. And it's going to be filling, it's going to be delicious, and it's going to be healthy. We used a low sodium soy sauce for that. And it looks amazing, right? We have some greenery in there as well. Any of these meals, if you want to, well, especially with the hamburger helper, if you wanted to make a side salad as well, you can put that with it, right? If you wanted to do maybe a piece of salmon to go with your egg fried rice on the side, that would go very well. Remember, I also have some leftover Brussels sprouts as well that I could put with that meal. You know, so it's all about using what you have in your kitchen and enhancing it. Okay, so I am Charlie, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, in Charlie's Kitchen, from Charlie's Kitchen, and I will see you guys next time, okay? From my kitchen to yours. Stay blessed. Love you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I would so appreciate it. Bye-bye, everyone.